Hello and welcome to the Perky Pod. My name is Ben Perkins and this is episode 6 of my professional development portfolio, where I'm thinking about talking the talk and how I can present myself professionally. So if I had around 30 seconds to a minute to explain who I am and what I do, this is what I'd say in my elevator pitch. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a values-driven, faith-anchored creative, and I love building things that genuinely matter, whether that's handcrafted jewellery with my business Ben Makes or meaningful conversations on my podcast, the Perky Pod. I'm passionate about helping people grow, supporting young people, and creating work that has genuine, real purpose behind it. Through my business, youth leadership, and university projects, I've developed strong communication, storytelling, and relationship building skills. I'm driven by service, creativity, and integrity, and I'm excited to keep growing in spaces where I can bring people together, make an impact, and use my gifts to help others flourish. Now, thinking about 3 things that truly define where I'm at right now, I would say I'm values-driven creative and I love building meaningful things, whether that's kind of making rings that have meaningful stories behind them, whether that's creating this podcast and having conversations on there and documenting my growth through that, whether that's the kind of creativity within my life, shaped kind of by adventure and community in my Thrive Church, or building up kind of church youth groups as I'm doing at the moment. I love building meaningful things that have my values at the core of them. Another thing, I'm faith anchored, and I love having my faith anchored at the core of the way I lead, and I kind of genuinely care about people through that. I love being able to serve people and love being able to kind of help others grow in their faith, and through kind of youth work I've been doing, which I've really enjoyed and I've got a massive heart for, and just helping share God's love to those around me, those in church and those that don't go along to church, and giving people the opportunity to feel and experience God's love and just help everyone feel loved and included. And that's something I really love doing. It really energizes me, and being able to share that and care for other people, I really love, and that really brings me a lot of joy to be able to do and have the opportunity to do that. And I'm also trying to be kind of an emerging entrepreneur, and trying to kind of work at different angles, being kind of innovative, ambitious, and resilient through what I'm doing. And that's not always an easy journey on it, not always smooth, but I'm kind of trying to build something that is more than just a kind of a business to make money, something that's genuinely meaningful, hopefully can help others through this podcast and other things I'm setting up. My rings and stuff, knowing that makes a genuine impact, is really meaningful for me, because I don't want to be creating something that's just a money-making machine. I want to create something that brings value to the world and helps people in whatever situation they might be going through. So I'm trying to kind of build something up that is more than just a business, and having different avenues of it, having my personal brand, having Ben Makes business, having a Perky Pod, which in time may become a kind of business element as well. But I love be able to kind of grow something and really bring things into that. And I think some of the areas kind of I've done with BBC, Dragon's Den, selling different rings and running various events, and now podcasting kind of highlights the variety of things I've kind of been involved with setting up and getting stuck in, and I just love being able to do that. I'm so excited for what's to come, and what the kind of new things I could do. I kind of love dreaming, but I love making those dreams a reality, in whatever those might be. So thinking about the things that I would then want a future employer, collaborator, or listener to remember about me, I would say I want people to remember that I try to show up with purpose, trying to be consistent, reflective, and intentional about what I'm doing, and really creating something that has genuine meaning behind it, rather than being some wishy-washy thing that doesn't really have a true meaning and something grounded behind it. I also love to kind of bring a warmth and kind of relational side into things, drawing alongside people, having kind of bring creativity into it, and integrity, and keeping kind of my core values at the core of what I'm doing, and not kind of going astray on that for the sake of money or popularity or whatever. So thinking about how I communicate my strengths and what holds me back in that, I would say that actually I communicate my strengths best when I'm actually acting them out, and showing them rather than talking about them. And I think what actually holds me back is talking about them. I I think I'm quite humble, and I don't really like to chat about that, but I don't actually love shouting about the things I'm good at. I definitely struggle to say, oh, look at me, I'm good at this, because that just doesn't feel natural to me to kind of shout about how great I am, and not say I am, but it's just one of those things I find a bit unnatural, kind of talking about myself in a confident way to say I'm amazing because of this. But actually, I am learning that within kind of employment and within collaboration opportunities, it is good to actually almost shout your own praises and tell people why you're good at these things. And that's something I'm kind of learning and growing in, and understanding actually is key to be confident, and key to be, saying, where I'm good at doing things. And I think I hesitate because I don't want to kind of sound arrogant. I don't want to sound pushy. I don't want to be trying to big myself up too much. So I don't think that really fits in with my values. But I think there's also a balance in doing, telling people my strengths, and where I can provide good value for people. And things I've learned about myself through kind of public speaking on the Perky Pod, and generally I found that things it becomes a lot easier over time. Like talking to a camera right now feels quite weird in a way because I'm not talking to anyone, but actually the more I've done it, the more I've become confident in that. I've been doing kind of video recordings of myself a little while through my business, doing short form content and other things, so that's definitely helped build the confidence in public speaking. And see, I'm not perfect, but there we go. But it's definitely helped me understand that, and actually also understand when I've been listening back to myself, I've been really, really realizing and learning a lot of things about kind of the way I'm talking, the way my pace can be too fast or too slow at times, and how I can kind of improve my clarity. And there's a few things I'll touch on in a second on that. But something I think I've communicated well recently is being just really honest and vulnerable and kind of open about these in some of these podcasts I've been doing, and really just saying how I feel rather than kind of trying to sugarcoat things, and trying to present that professionally as well. And I think there's a balance between vulnerability in the right ways, but then also presenting that professionally. And I'm still trying to work on that balance. But I do feel I've definitely grown in my confidence as well, in kind of presenting and talking out. But kind of particular weaknesses within my communication that I think I really want to grow on is not kind of rambling and not repeating myself too much. I think there's some times where I can essentially say one thing and then say it again and repeat it, when actually I just need to be more concise and to the point. That's one thing I really want to grow in. And also just saying ums and ahs. When I've been looking back at some of these podcast recordings and editing them, I couldn't actually believe how many times I stumble. I say like, as, all these things that just filler words. And I'm learning that actually in these times it's better to just pause rather than say, it's better to I think pause. And I'm growing in that, I'm learning in that, and I'm sure over these episodes hopefully you'll see an improvement. But it's definitely something I'm aware that I really want to grow and change in. And there's some kind of AI software that can take it out, and one of the episodes actually did that, and it sounded really unnatural because it was kind of just dropping and changing when it took out all these filler words. So one of the habits I'm really trying to change in this next week is to be really mindful of not saying and ah, but rather giving pauses and kind of going at a slower pace rather than going really fast. And that's something I'm trying to do and be more on it. But that's something I've very much grown in when I've been looking back at myself, that actually I've got a lot to learn and grow in. But I think that's an exciting opportunity. And whether that's kind of within my youth work I'm doing, whether that's within jewelry making, uni projects, I love to kind of make people feel valued and give people space to speak and space to share. And I also just love building things, and I would love people to remember that I love kind of getting ideas off the ground, and whether that's building my business, this podcast, youth work stuff that I've been starting to set up. I love to kind of build things and inspire others to do the same, and others to grow things, and turning kind of small things into bigger things and into reality, and using some of those dreams, and really thinking about how we can practically do that. I really, really love that. And most importantly for me, I'd say I'm faith-led. I'm grounded in my Christian faith, and I want to share that with others. I don't want to hide and shy away from that, but I also don't want to be forceful about that. And I think there's a real balance that I need to ensure I'm doing. But I would love people to meet me, to really see that I'm living for Jesus, and that's a real priority for me. But not so much that I'm actually forcing it down people's throats, because I don't think that's the way Jesus would want us to be doing it. So there's a balance, but that's something I think is really key that I would want people to take away from when they meet me. Now, thinking about if I was in a future interview about kind of my goals, identity and purpose, and they were asking questions about kind of where I want to be, some of my strengths and values, I would say where I want to be in the next 1 to 3 years is being in a place where I can really grow in my discipline and balance, as I'm really trying to be intentional to build a life that isn't too chaotic and rushed, but actually it's one where I'm being really meaningful with my time, really, kind of putting the right time into the right things and really sustainable balance. So I'm not kind of squeezing too much out of everything, but actually I'm giving the time to the things that genuinely matter for me, whether that's time with God, having meaningful relationships with friends, and also growing something, whether that's my business or whatever it might be in the future. But I really love to be able to kind of build my kind of my creative an entrepreneur almost ecosystem as such with my my podcast, the Perky Pod. Ben makes maybe other things I might set up. I'd really love to be in a place where I can continue to grow them into a more stable place, a more sustainable business. So it's less kind of founder reliant, and I'm able to kind of expand into different areas, be that kind of the wedding memorial rings, more sand rings, in different partnerships, and really grow in my collaboration skills as well. And I'd love to be able to use the Perky Pod, this podcast, to really build a kind of story, build a good kind of personal brand, and really grow in my communication skills and friendships with others that I might meet and have conversations with on the podcast, and really feeding that into a long-term kind of creative career in some way or other. And I'd love for it to be an opportunity for me to meet some awesome guests as well. And I'd love to be able to continue to grow my storytelling, production, and interviewing and business strategy as well. So I think there's so many areas I want to learn and grow in. Also, purpose-driven leadership is something I really want to be growing in and learning more about, and being someone that can really uplift and mentor others, but also be mentored by others, and find people that can help draw alongside me and those I can draw alongside, especially within the youth work I do and some of the friendships in church, and kind of having faith in the centre of that, but not exclusively with just Christians and things. And I really want to be able to continue to develop professionally, as this module has actually been helping me do. I really want to be able to grow this personal brand of mine into something that is kind of proper, rather than just a small surface level thing. And I want to be able to build up skills that employers, clients, and potential collaborators really value, whether that's my communication skills that I'm trying to grow in, strategy, content creation, discipline, being more reflective, and all these areas, and balancing these all sustainably. I really want to be able to grow in that and be able to continue growing and kind of use of the tools as well, some of the AI tools, things to really grow my skill sets. And I'd really love to be able to kind of lay down foundations for the life I really want to be living, and really set myself up in a place where I can really grow kind of not just around a job, but have actually my whole life being meaningful, being kind of faith-centered, and having lots of kind of time for friends and family and outdoor adventure stuff, surfing, and things I really genuinely enjoy and that fill me up. And I love the business side as well, but I don't want that to be my whole life. I don't want that to define who I am, but I want that to be an important part of it, and that I can use what I'm doing to make a genuine impact and a positive impact on people's lives. And my values and strengths shape my career path in a way that having my faith-led values, I think, will really lead me to kind of have purposeful decisions, and will kind of mean I'm really aligned ethically, having faith at the centre of what I'm doing. I really want to kind of be still keeping my kind of creativity within all that I'm doing, so I'm able to kind of create unique things and products, and offer kind of a unique standpoint and kind of thoughts behind things, and I'd love to kind of be able to continue to use my creativity within whatever my career might be, and that's still kind of growing and understanding what it might be. And I'd love to also be able to kind of use my kind of people skills, communications, and really be able to draw alongside people. So I think I'd love my kind of future career to be somewhere where I am able to connect with people and really grow in that, as I'm aware there's so much with AI that's kind of making things more automated, but I want to be able to really use my people skills and really grow and draw alongside people, rather than just leaving those behind and getting AI to automate everything without having that personal touch, as I think it's so important to keep that going. And the things that make me different from another graduate, if an interviewer was to ask, I kind of don't love shouting about these things, but I think it's important to be ready for these, and actually to be humble, but also showing my strengths I was discussing earlier. So some of the things include, in fact, I've had national news features with the BBC, the Times, the Telegraph over the last year, a handful of years since I was 16. I've got paying customers for my business, which started also when I was around 15, 16, with high value commissions and different custom pieces, and having my products being made and shipped all around the world. That's super exciting to me, and knowing I can do that and continue to do that means a lot for me. And being able to build a brand built on storytelling and impact through the videos, short form videos I'm doing on Ben Makes, but also this new podcast I'm doing, entrepreneurial resilience. I've got a variety of things that have come my way, and I've been able to use those as an opportunity to grow rather than have those things make me crumble and fall down. So I think I've been able to use opportunities. And also I've got a variety of experience through what I'm learning through Ben Makes with operations, customer service, logistics, marketing, production, and even the finance side. And I've also got real leadership skills and emotional maturity in the way that I'm able to draw alongside people. I've been in leadership roles within my youth groups within church, within university assignments and things, in a lot of different situations, and I felt I've really grown, and I've really got a developing gift in leadership. And I can communicate across different mediums, whether that's making social media content, whether that's doing this podcast, whether that's in person, draw alongside people. That's something I definitely feel I've grown in a lot, and it's definitely a strength of mine. And also ensuring values are at the forefront of all I do as well is definitely a strength of mine, knowing that I'm not going to compromise my values for the sake of money or for the sake of business, but actually my Christian values are at the core of what I do, and that's super, super important for me. But also my adventurous lifestyle has pros and cons in the way that I love adventure, love getting out and about, and the spontaneity of that. That does mean balance can be more tough, but that also means I'm quite comfortable navigating uncertainty, whether it's different business things that come at me. I've always got quite a positive attitude towards the things that hit me, and that comes within business, but also within sticky situations when I'm traveling around or up mountains and things. I think I'm quite calm in those stressful situations. And I'm also, lastly, willing to be really vulnerable and reflective, and I love being able to give the time to really reflect on where I'm at, what's been going on in my life, so I can really grow and use what I'm talking about and what I'm thinking about to put myself in a better position in the future. And I think that's such an important thing that I've found in my life, and anyone listening, I'd really recommend to be reflective, talk with other people, and realising we've not all got it figured out, but actually we're on a journey of that, and that's something I've really grown in, and really find is super important, and just giving time to do that. And as for communicating this, I think communicating it calmly, confidently, and humbly is so important. Realizing that we're not going to be perfect at the way I do this, but doing it in a confident way and doing it trying to do it at a slower pace is really vital. And accepting that I haven't got everything figured out, but I'm really committed to learning, showing up, and building something meaningful, and really using where I'm at and the opportunities I've got and the people I've got around me to grow in these areas. And now, wrapping up this episode, thinking about one thing that I've learned about myself through recording this episode today. Something I've learned is that actually perfection isn't what I need to be striving for. For the first take of this podcast, I did a lot of different takes trying to get it perfect, but actually I've realised that that's not who I am. I'm not perfect, and actually putting content out there of what I'm doing and realising there's going to be imperfections is actually more important than perfection. So I think that's something I've learned, and I'm learning in and developing in, that perfection isn't key, but putting content out there and growing through that is much more important, as no one's perfect, and it's good to show that and be vulnerable and honest about that as well. So that wraps up this episode about how I present myself professionally. I hope you enjoyed. It seems a bit of an odd one, me trying to shout about some of my strengths and things and how I present myself, but I think it's really important, not only for the assignment, but also important to think wider about how I can present myself within business context, within the podcast context, and going forwards and to the people I meet. But thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. God bless. Bye.